Good morning, Saturday, 11:10 a.m. I don't even have a thumbnail showing. Nope. I've got audio confirmation and get the show on the road. If you came to this video because of what you
DougBetts
saw
said, "Hey, is this thing on?"
in the thumbnail or the title, we're not going to start right away with that topic. You can go look in the description. Sometime after the live stream is over, I'll put information in the description. Probably the first line will have a timestamp that you can just click on and take you right to the place where we start talking about the subject indicated in the title. The title is How to Move Sage 50 Licensed Program and Data from an Old Computer to a New Computer. And this is keyed off of an issue, a question that one of our regular participants brought to us, and we talked about on the last episode, I think. Okay, before we dig into that, we'll go say hello to the chat room. And I think also have some comments on videos that'll be pretty quick to deal with. Hello, Princess. Now, come over here. Zoom a bit. The trailer, what in the world, Doug? That's not the first comment, is it? I don't think I have the trailer in the a link in the description yet. Yeah, Rand Israel says that was the first comment. I can't show it there. 2 seconds into the trailer, and I'm thinking to myself, gee, I wonder what's going to happen next. I had contemplated putting a poll with multiple choices. One choice was going to be that the tree limb was going to take out my neighbor's fence, or was going to land in the grass where I intended, or what was another one? That I was going to drop the chainsaw, or was going to take out the camera. And you could vote on which one you thought it was going to be before watching the trailer, but I didn't wind up doing that. Tim Sal, good morning, everyone. Got a brand new laptop being dropped off that will not get on the internet. All right. Let us know what happens with that. Brian Lightfoot, the title of the trailer is How to Cut Off a 20-Foot Branch while placing an iPhone only 15 foot away. Yeah, that branch was, since I wasn't cutting the base of the branch and the branch was way high, I thought I had the phone far enough away, but nope. But I didn't expect it to go that way. Although I wasn't surprised that it went that way, because the way the branch turned up high, you couldn't see that. There was weight pulling it down to the direction of the camera. But you saw the notch in the trunk, in the branch. My intention was to try to get it to go out into the grass, but no, it had different plans. I knew it might go that way. Rick Lakes, hello. Brian Lightfoot, chainsaw plus DougBetts. What could go wrong? John Williams. It used to call Timex. The watch, the phone that was still recording. It used to call Timex. Takes a lick and keeps on ticking. Now it's iPhone. Takes a video and gets snapped by a twig. Only Doug could accomplish this. Nothing can go wrong. From Selden. Selden, I do not do dangerous things without a spotter. I had safety measures in play that you didn't see physically. But yeah, I don't know how dangerous that one was. In the realm of risky things that I've done in my life, that doesn't get a sneeze. Clean house is a sign of a broken computer. Doug Stumper from Brian, and only Doug. He means nobody else reply to this in chat, at least until Doug takes a crack at it, but I have not pre-read any messages. How much dirt is in a hole that measures 6 meters long, 18 inches wide, and 2 yards deep? None, because it's a hole. There's no dirt in it. Did I get it right? I think I got it right. If he says I didn't, I should have.
Yes, sir. E-Bob.
Bingo, I got it. I missed the trailer, and of course there is no link. Hello, everybody. I'll probably put in a link later, or somebody's probably given it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I think Brian gave it to you. Good morning, Mike Wojcik, Rick Lakes, Ken Stout. Let's see if that's what he did. No. No, he didn't. It's not a link for the trailer.
Read chat, please.
No bot sound, really? I'm going to do an exclamation mark Y and watch the indicator.
Why, certainly.
My audio indicator says you are hearing it. Are you messing with me? Are you just messing with me? I got trolls around here like you just wouldn't believe. Yeah, it's working.
Read chat, please.
You might have had one where it failed. Yeah, and I've mentioned that a couple times recently, that failures happen. So I'm looking over here to see. There was an error, yeah, about 5 minutes ago. An error on SpeakerBot. Oh, that was Brian's video, I guess. Zvi said, read chat, please. Maybe he was just testing. Oh, there's no D. Exclamation mark D does not work. Not for you guys. It works for me and it works for DougBot, not for you. Martin Hogg said, Doug, safety first, always please. You should never work alone doing that work. You don't know what safety mitigations I had in place, so get over it. Gonna have to miss this one. Mom needs to go to the grocery store. Might catch this midstream. Huh? $5.99. Isn't this show number 599? No, 591. I don't know what that is. Bring on the pig. Really? Really? You want me to end the show that quickly?
Read chat, please.
Read chat, please.
Counting down the 10 minutes. Oh, that's what you were doing. The 10-minute delay. How many seconds in 10 minutes? Well, can you multiply 10 by 6? Is that too complicated? And then add another 0? Where was I at? 10-minute delay is brought to you by SpeakerBot. Oh, I think Phil was telling Brian that I should be able to get that joke. SpeakerBot, that awesome add-on program that will enhance your live streams with fantastic audio and video clips. Let's hear from one of our customers, Doug. Okay. Commercial much? Hello, Martin Hogg. Where's Nick Poverman for 10 minutes of jokes? Most people, okay, that is a joke. I did catch a glimpse of this one. Most people are shocked when they find out how bad I am. As an electrician, I did get a glance of that before the show started, but I didn't think of it. It's a joke. One Doug, one tree, one injured camera. Camera's fine. Skimming through a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. One Dog replying to Brian. Being an electrician takes practice, and getting shocked is not surprising to those people you know. I don't think Lawn Dog realized that was a joke. 480 is kind of a nice shock. The delay was because I've been struggling a bit this morning with migraines, so I've been doing some therapies, and rather than rush, I don't want to rush a therapy, so I just decided, you know what, I'm going to be a little bit late. If he really needs to know. Yeah, this is DougBot can do the exclamation mark D. The rest of you civilians cannot. That puts you in your place. The idea, the delay suited ran. Hello, Charlie Purdy. Greg M, an update. Good, because we're talking about you today. An update. I was able to install Sage 50 Quantum and the 2 updates. Install files were on the old computer 30-day trial. I will put this on a Windows 11 system for them to test for 30 days in their office. Greg M, do you know what specific version number that is? Now, I'm intending to cover the named topic anyway, even if you're not in need of it, because other people might be. Yeah, he did the math. Ken did the math. He proved that he could figure it out. Gray Wolf. Hello, Gray Wolf. Anyone that builds computers getting tired of paying for premium case only to find out it comes with 3-pin fans, thus further increasing the cost if you want PWM fans. Tired. I did read that as tired. I did an autocorrect on the fly. I don't know if you heard me pronounce it as tired, but I did catch that. Okay, it's version 2020.2. So when we get to look at versions, then we'll consider how that compares and what the relevance is. If I come over here to, oh, do I want to do this? Yeah, I do want to do this. I'm going to go do the count up. Now, yesterday, when I was putting in the seconds, they weren't right because I had set the count up to go from 9 a.m. Pacific time, but I started the show late, so the numbers weren't right. So today I'm going to say 11:10 a.m. is the time that I want to start counting from. I want Pacific time zone. My intention is to have done this before show starts, so no, I don't expect you to be having to deal with this. Oh, I got to change the date. So that's the number of seconds since 11:10 a.m. Yeah, at 10 minutes at 11:20 would have been 600, so that's believable. And then I can put this down here so that, don't do that. I keep the mouse away from the edge. Scrunch this down. And I need to get a link. Oh, the chat room's open. That's why I couldn't get to the share. Copy that. Now, can I paste that right there? No, I can't. Paste it over here. Get rid of everything after the question mark. Then Control A, Control C. Come back here. Take that off screen so I can look at my clipboard history and make sure there's nothing there. It's private. There's not. I'll pin that one and unpin that one. So I'm going to take Carrie Holzman's last because that's what triggers today's content. And we got 9:45. So I'll put in that link and then T equals 9:45. Says, hi, in my case, this was one that I responded to, I think yesterday, about losing contacts. Oh no, this was, I talked about a subject yesterday. He's not talking about the topic of that, of yesterday's video. In my case, the context menu in Excel did not work in the bottom tabs menu, well, sheets menu, yeah. So the tabs on the bottom that were for the sheets and the cells. VBA repair context menu, VBA repaired the context menu in the cells, but in the Sheets tab, which was the problem my client was having, I had to delete files from the user's roaming folder in the app data folder that he told us about in a previous comment. Have a nice evening, and thanks for approving me for live commentary so that he can talk to us in chat. So thank you for that reply. And I mentioned yesterday that I checked in with my client on that issue, and for her, I had given her a workaround that I presented in the video that Biters was originally commenting on. And she's since discovered that it just fixed itself after a period of time for no obvious reason. And then Eric asked how to change startup impact. Eric has asked some questions previously, and I'm pretty sure what he's referring to there is in Task Manager. When you go to Startup Apps, is that where I want to go? Yeah, Startup Impact. I think this is what he's referring to, is he wants to know how to change the startup impact of things that are starting up when you start your computer. And I'm kind of suspecting maybe, oh, I forgot to do is the timestamp for him. Maybe you're thinking that this is a setting that you can adjust so that if something has a high impact, you can set it to have a low impact. No, this is Windows just informing you how much impact that startup item had on starting your computer. So your ability to fix that or adjust that is very limited. You could stop that program from launching when you start the computer by just disabling that particular item. You click on the item and choose disable. Or you might, depending upon the item, there might be some configuration changes that you could make to that item in order to adjust that. But these are not, the startup impact is not something that you can just change the setting. I'm not sure if that's what you're getting at or not. But anyway, you can give me another response to clarify your question or let me know if that takes care of it for you. So I will have to go grab his timestamp after the show is over. Now let's come down to this comment from Carrie Holzman, which is a follow-up. Let's see, let's do this. Let's take triple click, select that whole paragraph, then Control C to copy. And I'm going to go paste that into that OneNote document on this subject. I'm going to go find it. That was about, let's see, that was Greg M's subject, right? Oh, no, I have another Greg M. I have a client that I identify as Greg M. Yeah, that doesn't get me to it. Sage 50. I keep saying Mass 50. Well, where did I put it? Oh, I did that in the computer. I'm not finding it. All right, here's a way to find it. If I come over to my channel and the live show from, let's see, this is the one right now. This is the one, transfer. Yeah, so I named that note in my OneNote, I think, for the name of that show. Will that get me to it? Really? Houston, we have a problem. Such a Doug. Oh, boom. Click on the right OneNote file and boom, it's right there. I'm going to come down here and add Carrie's comment. That way it's easier to zoom into it because it just doesn't work very well in the comments window. And view, page width, there we go. Once your operating system transfer is complete, I recommend cleaning out the old drivers from the device manager that are ghosted and leave unnecessary drivers on the new system. A great explanation and demonstration can be found here, and he gives us a link to Mike's Unboxing that demonstrates this utility, a utility that you have to download, and I looked at it a bit. I like it. I like it a lot. Using this method, you should be able to restore from Intel to AMD and from AMD to Intel without issues. This one I cringe a little bit at, just by virtue of, if there is a problem going from Intel to AMD, I would expect that to become apparent after restoring the image and then trying to get a first boot. If it'll get to the desktop, then I think, yeah, it would likely work. But I haven't tested it, but I just suspect that it might not even get to the desktop with the wrong drivers. It might work fine. I don't know. And I don't see any indication here that Carrie has actually tested it. So I'm going to put that with, take that with a grain of salt. And I don't see myself testing it because I don't care about that. I have no reason to ever switch from one processor family to another. If somebody has an AMD, I'll replace it with an AMD. I don't mind that. If I'm needing to use this method, which should be rare. Using this method, you should be able to restore from Intel to AMD, AMD to Intel without issues. This includes completely mismatched hardware in nearly any configuration on an OS transfer. So sound like he's rubber stamping this, that he thinks this would work pretty well. Of course, we agree a clean install is always preferred on a new PC. Absolutely. A new PC and even on an old PC, if you're reallocating a computer to a new user and a new environment, you might want to do a fresh install, even if it's in a computer that's been in use. Now here's the next piece. This is what I want to really delve into. With regards to moving Sage 50, info on the Sage 50 website has this process detailed. I'd like to go look at that because we didn't even give a hint about that when we were working on this issue previously. This link includes info regarding moving and adding licenses. So that is the main topic of today's show, and I will be putting in a timestamp for this portion of the show. So when I click on that, I look through this a bit, and there's some interesting things here. So Greg is in the chat room, and he had told us originally that his client was going to have to pay $4,000 to install on a new computer. So we never actually addressed at all. Are you sure that your client knows what they're talking about on that point? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. And if they do, and that's true, then we're probably going to see the reason for that as we go through this process. How to move Sage 50 accounts to a new computer, single user. Description: moving to a new computer is a step-by-step process. Before you start, this is an important section. It can be easy to skip over it and say, okay, well, here's what I do. But no, before you start, consider this stuff. Check your computer details on Sage 50 accounts. Log in as manager, then go to Help and About. Under License Information, make a note of your serial number, activation key, and account numbers. So all three of those are, you can just go see them. There's nothing hidden there. They're easy to get and grab that information. Under Program Details, make note of your version number. Things you need to know. Check your new computer meets the system requirements. That's probably not going to be very extreme. Did I look at that yesterday? I'm not sure. Oh, that just went into the same thing. So maybe this just expands. Nope, opens up separately. System requirements. Oh, it's just a similar layout, right? So that, yeah, that fooled me. I thought it was the same page. Supported version of Sage 50 accounts. We currently support the following versions. So it's 26.3, and he told us in chat today, I believe that the version they're using is older than that. I believe it was 20. Version 2020.2, the 0.2, it's the second update applied, and so that's from 2020. And somewhere along the line I saw the years, but this is actually a V number, not 2020. So Greg, do you have a version number that corresponds to these? And you should be getting that from that Help About screen, or yeah, Help About screen. So if you try to reinstall, is it going to activate if you have an older version? This screen doesn't really tell us that. It just tells us that
Read chat, please.
beyond that point, it's not supported. It doesn't mean that you can't install it fresh. And that last read chat was client has Sage 50 Quantum, not Sage 40 accounts. Sage 50. This is Sage 50. It doesn't say Quantum. And he says not Sage 40 accounts. This doesn't say Sage 40. Where are you getting Sage 40 from? Oh, accounts. I think that was a typo in chat where he says, see, I want to leave that one highlighted. Sage 50 accounts. Sage 50 Quantum, not Sage 50 accounts. That is a different accounting package. Okay. So let's come back here and see, are we going down the wrong road? Sage 50 account is a different software, apparently, than Sage 50 Quantum. Well, that's not confusing at all. The word accounts is just such a generic word. I was not guessing that that was actually the software product. All right, so that would imply that what the link that Carrie gave us was on the Sage 50 accounts program, not the Sage 50 Quantum. So wrong program. Sage 50 Quantum. Do we get similar guidance for Sage 50 Quantum? Sage 50 accounts. Sage 50 quantum accounting. Yikes. They must have taken their naming strategies from Microsoft. Find the most confusing way to do things. So we're looking for support. Knowledge base overview, community learning, trust and security. How about transferring to new computer? Let's do a Google search that way. Oh, actually, let's give Copilot a shot at that. How can, well, let's not do it that way. Let's do it this way. How can I transfer my Sage 50 quantum software from an old computer to a new computer? To a new one involves a few steps. General guideline, back up your data, install Sage 50 on the new computer, restore your data, verify your data, update license information, optional transfer additional files. That wasn't very specific, but here's where it goes from the knowledge base. Grab that from the knowledge base on sage.com. So we'll use that as the link to get us to their website. How to move Sage 50. Nope, that's accounts. It fooled Copilot as well. This is not Sage 50 Quantum. Sage 50 accounts. Where is Sage 50 Quantum? No, I don't want to do that way. I want to do that way. I want to do Windows key H. I don't want to do that microphone because that actually gets
Read chat, please.
Copilot talking to me. I got your chat message, Zvi, and I was going to ask a similar thing, but let's go just grab that, copy and paste. Sage 50, but that doesn't have the word quantum. Greg's telling us that quantum is different than accounts. So Windows key H. Is Sage 50 Quantum a different software product than Sage 50 accounts? Yes. Different product within the Sage 50 family. All right. Quantum. This is the top tier version of Sage 50. Designed for larger businesses with advanced accounting needs, it supports up to 40 users. It includes all features available in Pro and Premium versions, plus additional advanced features. Sage 50 accounts, this term generally refers to the entire Sage 50 suite, which includes Pro, Premium, and Quantum versions. So this implies to me that the instructions we're seeing for accounts would apply for Quantum. But maybe those version numbers are going to be a different version numbering. Each version offers different features and capabilities tailored to various businesses and sizes and needs. So Sage 50 Quantum is a specific version within the Sage 50 accounts family, offering the most comprehensive set of features. So I would think the instructions for Sage 50 accounts should apply for Sage 50 Quantum because that's essentially a subset of accounts. I'd like to get some feedback from Greg. Are you on board with that, with my interpretation of that? And if so, we'll continue going down the accounts instruction. I don't know where I was.
Yes, sir. Bob.
So he agrees with that. So we'll go continue on with Sage 50 accounts. And I'm going to take a little bit of a side trip here and go check and see if there's a show from Carrie Holzman today that I can redirect to. Whoops, that's not where I want to go. Go in here. It's a little diversion, little squirrel, little itty bitty squirrel. Nope. Let's try Pirate Software. Give him some love. Okay. Yeah, get back to where we was. System requirements, so that would still apply to this subset software. Got your serial number, activation key. You can also find those in your Sage Online account. So you also might want to see if you can sign into their Sage Online account. Even if their product isn't supported anymore, they probably have an account. Possibly you might have to reset the account password. Supported version of Sage 50 accounts, that's not the one you have. They're not offering us Sage 50 Quantum for version numbers. Operating system. That's not really, well, it won't work on a Windows 11 S. And yes, the S mode is still around. I don't know how much around, but oh, we don't support Sage 50 accounts on virtual environments. That's something Greg M was intending to do, is to test it in a virtual environment. So they don't support that. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean he can't do it? Does it mean it won't work? No, I think my interpretation of that is they don't support it in virtual environments. Is that going to serve any purpose for Greg's testing purposes? Now, you might already be past this point, Greg. That's okay. I'm going to discuss the topic anyway. My interpretation of this type of a statement is that if you put it into a virtual environment and it works, well, that gives you a positive thumbs up. If it does not work, that doesn't really mean it's not going to work on a new computer for you. It just means it didn't work for you in the virtual environment. So you didn't get a positive affirmation. And yes, Ran, I agree with that. It means they won't answer questions about it. Does not mean that it won't work. But if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to work on a new computer. I'm going to move this microphone a little bit. And Ran Israel, that read chat did not come through for you, did it? But I saw your message. I'm looking over here to see if it told me that. Yep, it got an error. So anytime you do a exclamation mark C and you don't hear it, just go ahead and do it again. Just on the next line, put an exclamation mark C. It should work for you the second time. Unless SpeakerBot is really, really mad at you, then maybe it won't. Computer specifications, RAM memory. They want at least 2 gigabytes or 4 gigabytes RAM if you're a 64-bit system. Yeah, right. Because we're going to try the minimum amount of memory, aren't we? 5 gigs of free space. I don't think that it's very significant or likely that you're going to find any problem in there. So I'll collapse that section. Internet connection, that's not going to be of concern for you, I'm sure. Network users only, at least 100 megabits per second. Microsoft Office integrations they do. Display settings, they recommend a maximum of 125. I have some clients that set them higher than that because they can't see very well. And I often wind up teaching them that, hey, if you can't see something down in the bottom right side or bottom area, then you have to lower your resolution for that purpose. Check. Now you've checked the system requirements of Sage 50 accounts. You can download and install it. Now let's see if this gives us download for Sage 50 Quantum. Popular. Older versions, they allow you to get to older versions. It's quite possible, since Sage 50 Quantum is for higher end installations, that might not be downloadable to the general public or visible to the public. But he already has installation file for it, so he may be okay. Now, getting back to here, check your computer details, system requirements. We did that. Log into your new computer's Windows Administrator. Let's make this bigger. Using remote data access, he's not doing that because the computer he's working with is a standalone computer. Nobody actually uses it as their workstation. One person, as I understand, connects remotely to it internally, and 2 people connect to it externally, remotely. So it's a dedicated purpose computer, as I understand it. Greg, is my understanding correct on that point? If you're moving your main site to a new computer, we recommend you download and install the latest version on all computers first. So that's not an issue for Greg. Zavi in chat says, I got interested answer from Copilot. Is Sage 50 version 20.2 Quantum run Windows 11?
That's a big 10-4.
That's a worthy question. Let's go show it here. And Greg says, yes, I understood correctly. I installed it in VirtualBox, including updates, and that is how I knew it at least installed and was able to use the sample company file. Yeah, so you got a positive affirmation in VirtualBox. So that was good. I got interested answer from Copilot. Is Sage 50? So I think he's saying he got an interesting answer from Copilot. So let's go take a little diversion down that road. Sage version 2020.2 Quantum run Windows 11. Yes. However, it's always a good idea to ensure your system meets specific requirements for the software and to check any updates or patches that might improve compatibility and performance. Are you planning to upgrade your operating system soon or experiencing any issues? I rarely do the follow-up questions. Zvi, did I understand completely what you're saying there? I feel like I might have missed your point. So latest version, we saw that it did not have Quantum. Change your main site to a new location if you're unable to upgrade. Follow the V27 steps. Okay, we're not needing that. Zvi says he got another answer. Are you able to paste that into chat over a couple different chat lines? If you think it's significant that we see it. Back up and check your data. Go to the file menu, backup, enter the file name. The default file name is Sage Accounts Company, file name, date, and time. Browse to select the location, select all files, all file types to include in the backup. Yeah, because some, like in QuickBooks, when I do, if I just copy a QBW file, that gets the QuickBooks company file, but if there's customizations, they aren't included unless you actually do a backup. And in this case, it looks like you have to select all the file types available to get all of the configurations for those company files. To check your data, select yes. So apparently it asks if you want it to check and validate or verify your data. And that should always be done. I always do that on QuickBooks, and I often find there are problems that it finds and resolves. You need to resolve all check data errors before you install your software. Let's see what this takes us to. It's a new tab. Yeah, what you're witnessing here is me going through a program that I'm not very familiar with. I've had a little bit of a hands-on, not with Sage 50, but with Mass 90. It's also from the Sage company. So I think there's probably some similarities. but basically I'm treating this as a software I'm not familiar with. A to Z index of check data errors. So this is giving you, apparently the errors have titles. So you can find your specific errors and then find out what the next steps are for fixing those errors. I've oftentimes find the errors related to when a user is using fields in the software for a purpose that they were not intended for. Like what? If there's a field that is expecting a name and they put a phone number in that field and like cell phone and put in a phone number when it's expecting a name, or putting something into a field that's not expected. I see Zavi's link. Let's go take a look at that. That ought to be what the answer that he got from Copilot. A few moments later. I don't have that one. Let's go zooming up. Scroll down. See the links where it came from. Get out of here, advertisement. Based on the information I found, Sage 50 2020.2 is not officially listed as compatible with Windows 11. Sage 50 2020.2 was designed for Windows 7, 8.1, and Windows 10. However, some users have reported running older versions of Sage 50 on Windows 11 with varying degrees of success. It might be worth trying to install it and run it, but be prepared for potential issues. For the best experience and support, I recommend upgrading to a more recent version of Sage 50 that is officially supported on Windows 11. This might be where his client reported that they were going to have to pay $4,000 to get a Windows 11 compatible version. Perhaps that is where the $4,000 price tag came from. Greg, am I correct about that? Can you elaborate on where the $4,000 price tag came from? Because this makes a whole lot of sense. Comparing that to what I got out of Copilot, let's see. Let's look at the ways that he worded it. Is Sage 50 version 2020.2 Quantum run in Windows 11? Is Sage 50 version 20.2 Quantum run in Windows 11? I added the word quantum, and the answer came back with quantum. So that's interesting. Zavi, could you try it with the word quantum on your side? And I will try it without the word quantum. Because when you just say Sage 50 2020.2, they might have other things besides quantum that uses that version number, maybe. I don't know. So far, we're not seeing much on the website about quantum. Oh, it's sticking on quantum. Yeah, it doesn't switch topics very well. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go ask for a new chat, and then put in that same message and see if it gets away from the word quantum. Yeah, did not include the word quantum. Can run, you might encounter display errors. Yeah, I'm not getting the same thing as Zavi got. That is interesting. That's very, very interesting, but stupid. Let's see, is there anything new in chat I need to catch?
Read chat, please.
I wrote quantum. In what, in your original question, or you tried it again? Oh, he has quantum there. Oh, the response though. Moraga, California. No, I don't want to talk to you. That's interesting. I don't know my, oh, I've got my phone on silence. Oh, he did ask quantum. Based on the information I found, Sage 50, 2020. Yeah, the response didn't come back with quantum. All right, so Zavi did include the word quantum. Huh. Well, that's AI, you know. I don't think we can even say trust but verify. I'm more inclined with AI. What? Take AI's opinion with a grain of salt. Trust but verify. We can't even give it that much credit, right? I mean, it's trained on a data set, but Zavi in Israel gets a different response than I get in California on the same day. Gotta love AI. Not. But still, I'm enjoying it. Let's see. That was Zavi's link. Got another spam call. Get out of here, you people. Scanning. Doug, which would you consider a security risk and liability if a critical piece of software like accounting software did not go through the security chip qualifications? That's a squirrel. That's a squirrel chasing a squirrel. I'm not gonna go down right now. Tim shows up. If the computer will only be for the software, why bother and switch to a new operating system that does not support it? Does the computer need internet? Well, that's a decent question. Since nobody's going to be using that computer to run email or sign into financial accounts, there's not going to be anything stored out. Now, here would be the concern, is if that Windows 10 computer has or in the future has a vulnerability that allows somebody from the outside to connect into it and then move laterally to the rest of the network, that could be a problem, because that computer certainly has rights throughout the network because other people connect to it through the network. So that's where my concern would be. Not that it would be active on the internet in a way that would attract attention, but a hacker or a penetration tester, if they get through the company's firewall and they get into the network, and then they're looking for a computer that they can access once they're on the local area network remotely, the Windows 10 computer might have a vulnerability that they could get through to it. So that's where my concern would be, but not a cybersecurity expert sitting in this chair. The program probably needs internet access to update itself. Yeah, certainly it would. And people need to connect to it from outside the office. So not only does it need to access the internet itself, it needs to be accessible from the internet. But a good question. I give you results can be lacking or erroneous. Yeah. Scanning through. Their bookkeeper is remoting in from the internet. Now, my understanding, the AI has limits. I'm not going to do that comment right now. It's basically about they're trained on a data set, and how much access does the AI currently have on the internet? Has in the past has been limited. I don't know if that's still limited. No more updates to the app, not supported anymore. So that supports his plan of installing from the saved installation files and the saved updates that he has. And he made a comment about the updates today. Let's go see what that was. Update. I installed VirtualBox, including the updates. That's how I knew it at least installed. Let's see. This is, I don't have timestamps turned on. Can't turn them on here. Yeah, this was his first comment. Now, the 30-day trial, can you activate? That's an important question. Can you use that activation code that's from Help About? And does the Quantum product have the serial number and the activation and the third item? I guess the version number, I think it was. Is that available to you? So you need to see if you can activate on a new computer. Like I mentioned previously, I'm reluctant for you to try activating it on in the VirtualBox. I'd prefer for you to try activating it on the computer that you're actually intending to install for them. And does activating it on a new computer automatically deactivate it from the current computer? So how many installations do they allow? I don't think we've seen anything about that. I'm going to go back to this path, knowing that this is not specifically Sage Quantum. So that was a backup. See what else we get in here. Download and install your software. On your new computer, close all software, then download the relevant software version. We'll go see if Quantum is there. To begin, is Quantum even a current product for them at all anymore? Do they, that $4,000, was that going to be a current version of Quantum, or were they going to have to switch to something else other than Quantum because it's no longer supported? Greg, could you address what you know about that? And if you don't know, just say so. Installation file, this is the accounts version. Accept the agreement. And set the terms, standard, begin installation, restart now. I previously saw where it says to put in to do the activation, and I'm not seeing that here. I was expecting that would be here. There's nothing here about entering the activation code. I know I saw that. Okay, link, Zvi, I see your link to Amazon for Sage Quantum. Thank you. And here's install your software where you could download. So do they have Quantum in here? Accounts, older versions, accounts, upgrade, queries, download older versions. These are all accounts, and the oldest one that they support is from 2021. So the version 2020.2, second update for 2020, that's implying to me, excuse me, that Sage 50 Quantum was a 2020 product, and beyond the number of years that they apparently support their products. Let's go take a look at the Amazon listing. Yep, there's the $4,000. That's what it was. No, this is 2020. Sage 50 Quantum Accounting 2020 US. I was expecting to see that the 2020 was referencing the year and there'd be a newer version. This kind of, oh, and it does not support Windows 11. So that's not going to do it. This is an old, obsolete software. Does not do Windows 11. Zvi, did you notice that? So paying the $4,000 might not cut it. Who's this sold by? Oh, it's the Sage Software Store. That takes us to the Sage Software Store, Pro Accounting, Premium Accounting. We want to see Quantum. Control F, QANT. Nope. So it's not even showing in their store. Let's see, here's Sage 50. No Quantum on those. Here's Quantum. Oh, 2000. Sage 50 Quantum 2024. Hey,
Why,
better price.
certainly.
That's a better price. 3 user 1 year subscription. It's a subscription. Surprise, surprise. So this is a currently supported version of Quantum, but you're going to pay that amount every year. If they're not willing to do a one-time purchase of 4,000, I doubt that they're going to be willing, or they're going to kick and scream about $2,080 for per year. Quantum Accounting 2020. Why was this so hard to find? Why didn't Zavi find that as he was looking? Sage 50 Quantum Accounting. 3 user, 1 year subscription, small business accounting software. No comments, no reviews. Does it give us an indication here how many times it's been purchased? I see nothing. Select from 2 plans. 173 per month. 24 equal payments. You're paying, wait a minute. You're paying a 1 year subscription over 24 months? What? Really? And then next year you're going to do that again? Could you start with monthly? No, it's probably an annual obligation. When you do, where did that go? Oh, here. Yeah, it's probably not a month-to-month subscription. If you pay monthly, you're probably obligated for the whole year and you can't cancel. Like that would be a way to like subscribe for a month or two, be sure it's going to serve the needs before you commit to a longer term. 0 interest. Payment for this item times 12. 12 equal monthly payments. Yeah, I don't think that's a month-to-month subscription. So, Greg, were you aware of a current version on a subscription? Is there a purchase plan to not do subscription? Quantum, Pro, Premium, Quantum 1 year, 1 user, Premium 3 user, 1 year. So we're only interested in Quantum. So Quantum 1 user, you've got people that are remoting in from outside, 2 of them, and you have 1 person from inside the office. Do they, since they're all using the same computer, that would presume they're all doing it 1 person at a time. So would it be palatable to get the 1 user license and the person who's inside the office, when they connect remotely to that computer through the LAN, they appear as the same user as the people that are connecting from outside? That drives the cost down to $1,400 a year. If it's possible that the 3 users need to have different security levels, different access levels, and that a 1 user license would not be acceptable. I'll go see if I have any responses from Greg. Yeah, they're forcing people to subscription or cloud versions. I have had some cases where I've resisted that with clients, the same with, on behalf of my clients to try to get them by. And we've had some success with it. My clients whose business is composed of 2 owners and 2 installers and a bookkeeper. I'm going to assume installer is a job function for their business. There's 2 owners, 2 field workers that do installations. I think he told us what they do. I don't remember. And a bookkeeper. The owners have indicated they're not willing to spend the $4,000. Yeah. So this is a way to drive the cost down a little bit. Would they compromise? Or would they consider looking at other software products that would be able to handle the serial numbers? Because the main reason why they need this expensive software program is to track serial numbers through the life of the product. Is it time to look for some other way to accommodate that need and drive their overall costs perhaps way down? That depends upon how complex their serial number tracking needs to be and what the purposes are of that. No, 2 local people using 2 local computers plus bookkeeper remoting into the actual accounting computer. So are the 2 local people also remoting within the LAN to the accounting computer, or are those people actually using the accounting software from their computer, accessing the data that's stored on the accounting computer? Okay, I'm going to go back and continue this procedure because some people finding their way to this video might be interested in more of what's included here. So download and install your software. We looked at what's available on their website. The quantum products are not there, but we didn't even see the subscription products there. I'm going to go back to that again. Try searching quantum there. Doesn't find quantum on their website. How about products? Sage 50 accounts, payroll, Sage Business Cloud Accounting, payroll, all products. Control F. I am spelling quantum correctly there, right? Quantum. It's not here anywhere. It is a subproduct of accounts. Sage Copilot. What could go wrong with that? Yeah, see, I'm not seeing any offering of Sage Quantum subscription on their website. Am I missing something? Okay, coming down to the next section, restore your data. In 30.1 and above, you'll see a manage cloud connection window. When you restore backup from a different computer, this occurs when you use connected services. In QuickBooks, when I install QuickBooks, it asks if we want to use connected services. I always answer no to that because we're always trying to use it locally. And it's a little difficult to find, but QuickBooks purchase and standalone install desktop is still available last time I looked, but it's hard to find it. Open Sage 50 accounts, select a note. Now I know this is not the software that Greg's using. He's using a subset called Sage 50 Quantum. Oh, here's the serial number and activation. So the serial number activation account number doesn't happen until you're actually trying to access the data file. So apparently you can, since he's already done this on the sample file on his virtual computer. I'm assuming he did not have to enter an activation key. It was in trial mode, he told us. So he's not going to have to do the serial number activation key until he actually tries to access the actual data for the company. Yeah, it's when you actually open that restored data. Next, to confirm your license. This process probably works the same for Quantum that were being shown here for Sage 50 accounts. Just because it's a subset of the same family, it's likely they're going to use the same procedure. Uninstall from your old computer. Once you've installed Sage 50 accounts on your new computer, you can uninstall from your old computer. So this implies that the activation would still be okay on the old computer. Now, I think it was, we've seen 3 user in the subscription product or single user in the subscription product. The users, Greg has told us there's 3 people, 2 from inside.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
What part of that sounded like the name ZIGGY to you? You're such a Doug. Inside joke for those of you who haven't been around this channel before. Now they're all wondering, is he going to remember where he was at? Oh yeah. The number of users. Are they, to what I've seen in multi-user capabilities is it's an indication of how many people can be using it at the same time. Like for QuickBooks, I can have a single user standalone QuickBooks with multiple different users, but only one user at a time can be using it. I'm 80% sure I'm saying that correctly. Yeah, pretty sure. But a lot of times I've seen this where single user means one user at a time. It could be a different user, even a different user name for the software to be able to have different access rights. All right, that I think completes the titled topic of this video of how to install a new Windows 11 no, that's not it. That's not today. How to move Sage 50 license, program, and data from an old computer to a new computer. Now, Sage 50, in the title, I said Sage 50. I didn't say Sage 50 accounts or Sage 50 Quantum, because I didn't even understand the distinction between those subcategories at the time. But that came out during the course of our conversation. So we're going to see if there's any other final comments on the Sage 50 issue. In quantum accounting, quantum is an adjective. Sounds to me like it's a noun in the Sage product line. It's a noun as in the sense that it's the name of a program.
Read chat, please.
There could be 3 users using the accounting at the same time. So they currently can have 3 people using it at the same time. So they do have a 3-user version. So my suggestion of getting the 1 user is not going to work for them unless they decide to take turns, but that's only going to save them $600 a year, $678 a year, 99 cents. I'm not sure if I did that quite right. I'll be impressed if I picked out the exactly right math there. Now, because they don't want to pay the $4,000, they might not have a choice within Sage 50
Read chat,
Quantum
please.
Accounting and a currently supported operating system. So you may have to make a compromise somewhere or talk to them about exploring other alternatives, such as going to a different program. Now, the complications there is all the serial numbers that are in the database now. That would mean having to export that and import that somewhere else. Now you're paying a technician significant amount of time to do that transition. But the efforts that you make to escape that $4,000 price tag that's going to get more complicated. Now, it's not actually, I don't think that $4,000 was actually accurate, because that $4,000 wasn't that for the other, was that a purchase? Where did we get that? We did see the 4,000 somewhere. I don't even remember now, but didn't that turn out to be the wrong product? Oh, that's USA pricing. Add 40% onto that price. Oh.
Read.
Oh, that's right.
Chat, please.
Yeah. The read chat, please, used to be just the two Microsoft voices, David and Zira. I opened that up for the other voices, and sometimes they're just weird. Yeah, it was for the version 2020, which is not supported on Windows 11. So I don't see any purpose, any point in paying that, because that doesn't get you anything at all. It does not get you a version of the product that is supported, or any assurance that it will work on Windows 11. So I think the $4,000 isn't even on the table anymore. Greg, do you agree with that reasoning? Do you concur? Do you conquer? No, I don't want you to conquer me. Yeah, that 4,000 is pointless. See, I think that's on my back button. Can I go back further? There it is. That's the one. Oh, and that's a 5-user. Yeah, it's nothing better than what you currently have. I don't see any reason to do that. Oh, 3-user. He's got 3 users right now, but do they actually have a... Oh, here's 4 users. But these are all not supported in Windows 11. So your bird in the hand looks better than that. I understand what you're saying. The former bookkeeper was the one who was dealing with Sage. Former bookkeeper, not even there anymore. All right. Well, Jeff, if there's any other questions you want to pose, Jeff and Greg M, if you any other questions you want to pose, have at it. But I think that's all I had in mind. Now let me go back and check on reread Carrie's comment. Got to go back in my Copilot history. Oh, is it here? No. Where is it? Oh, it wasn't in Copilot. It was in OneNote. Oh, such a Doug. Yeah, here's Carrie's comment. Once your operating system transfer is complete, I recommend cleaning out the old drivers from Device Manager that are ghosted and leave unnecessary drivers on the new system. Great explanation demonstration can be found here. I think I'm going to do that on a weekday show so that I can have it specifically titled, because I think that's a very interesting product that Mike's Unboxing demonstrated. And that link right there, if you want to see that, let me go give you that link in chat. From Mike's unboxing. Now, I'm going to click to go there and make sure that I got that right. Yes, that's right. And he's showing a device cleanup tool that I think when I demonstrate that, it's going to reveal a whole lot of obsolete drivers on Big Beast and Baby Beast, and we'll do those cleanups live, unscripted, unrehearsed. Going back to make sure I covered everything here. A great explanation demonstration using this method, restore, this includes completely mismatched hardware in nearly any configuration on OS transfer. Of course, we agree a clean install is preferred on a new PC. With regards to moving Sage 50, we've been through all of that. This includes info regarding moving or adding licenses. Okay, that's all covered. I have sort of decided that I am routinely going to go back and put links in a reply, even to Carrie, even to people that are regular watchers. And the reason for that is that other people that go look at my video, sometimes when I go to look at somebody's video, I'll go right away to the comments and see what people are saying. So for nearly all the comments on my videos moving from here forward, to have a link to my live response to their comments, I think that's something nobody else is doing. I haven't seen any other content creators do that. And it could be a way to attract more regular viewers and attract more questions, more people that will, when they come up with a question, might remember, oh, let me go throw that out at Doug and his crew and see if they've got something, suggestions that'll help. So even if you are a regular around here, you'll be seeing links, and I'm going to be doing them during the show, but I will polish up to where I have the seconds, that counter set up before the show starts. Famous last words. I know, Ken, there's no answers up there. So I don't take actual show time for that. Okay. Is there any other questions from chat? Issues that you're dealing with? If you put something else already in chat that I haven't seen, then you could triple click it, do a Control-C, and then come down in the chat line. Let's see, I'll just go ahead and do that. Control-C, come down in the chat line, and Control-V to paste, just in case somebody still doesn't know how to do that.
Read chat, please.
On the next line, do a read chat, please, just like Zvi just did. Zvi says Sage 50 Pro versus Premium versus Quantum Accounting. Oh, and you know what? I think, oh no, of course I have not asked Copilot what the difference is between those. Oh, we did do that during the show. acecloudhosting.com tells us some things about the differences. That's worthy. Which one is right for your business? Let's get a little bit of a focus. Are you going to have a whole bunch of advertising popping up? Yeah, there's a pop-up. All right. You're going to get the uBlock Origin treatment. Sage 50 Pro overview, Premium overview, Quantum overview. All right, let's do at least those. Pro overview. The basic version of 50 Suite. It's ideal for small businesses who require basic features for their accounting practices. Now, this might be an idea. Is it possible that the inventory that's currently being tracked in Quantum is inventory now an offering on these lesser expensive versions that it can be transferred to a less expensive version. Another thing, in looking at other accounting programs that do deal with inventory tracking, serial numbers, not just inventory tracking, serial numbers, there may be some out there that advertise, that include in their literature that they can import the data from Sage 50 Quantum, and that makes the transition much easier. I've been through that. I've been through transferring from one product to another with exporting the data from one and importing into the other based upon the instructions from the target software, destination software. The version is suitable for companies with one user and provides an affordable accounting solution, as it won't require many overhead costs compared to the other Sage 50 editions. It includes general ledger, accounts payable,
Read chat,
invoicing,
please.
bank reconciliation, inventory management. That is not necessarily serial number management. Go to the table instead to read all. Okay. There we go. Still getting advertisement. Comparison table. Sage 50 Pro, Premium Quantum, 1 user 2 to 4, 5 to 40. This is the one they're using. So that's way over what they need. The Premium could do it. So let's go to serial number. Let's see, track items by serial number. Nope, that's it. That answers it right there. They need Quantum. The lesser expensive ones are not going to cut it. All right, so I'll give Copilot a shot at this. Windows key H. What accounting products are available that can use the data from Sage 50 Quantum related to serial number tracking and all the rest of the accounting needed? All right, let's try that. Several accounting products that can integrate Sage 50 Quantum for serial number tracking and other accounting needs. MIS Manufacturing, MRP. This software integrates with Sage 50 Quantum. Nope, that's not of interest. Sage 50 Premium. Nope, that doesn't do serial number tracking. We've already seen that. Sage 50 Canada. Yeah, so I don't put a lot of credence in Copilot's response to this. Point of sale systems. Some POS systems can integrate with Sage 50. That's not what we're asking for. No, I want a software product that can replace Sage 50 Quantum, not integrate with it. Copilot misunderstood the question. QuickBooks Enterprise supports inventory management, advanced reporting. Doesn't say serial number tracking. I'm going to search for the word serial and see if any of those say. Nope, it went up to the previous one. The word serial numbers doesn't appear here anywhere. Okay, so let's try Control C, copy that. I want a software product that can replace Sage 50 Quantum and be able to track serial numbers for my products. There's got to be some blog post out there that compares products. Sage integration, no. Side-by-side comparison, 2025 top 15 accounting software. So that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for. 2025 Sage Software Review. .com. It's business-software.com. Is this like paid for? But it was a advertisement. It was a sponsored. Sage. Yeah, they do have Sage in there. So biased much? Accounting software that can track serial numbers for my products. Sage. QuickBooks. MRP Manufacturing. Serial number tracking software, inventory management. This might be specifically inventory management and not including all the other accounting that's needed. Does the serial number tracking have to be included with the accounting software? Greg M., are you able to respond to that? Does the serial number tracking have to be incorporated into the accounting software? So much for the helpful AI. Greg M., I came across a free app that one can host locally that can track serial numbers. That is a separate program. Yeah, is that, as you tell the client, hey, look, we need to explore some other options if you don't want to pay the money. I get that. There may be other ways that we can deal with this. No, because at one time they were using an Excel spreadsheet. I'm not sure what the no is. Does that mean no, it does not need to be in the same accounting? Yeah, I think that's what it means. No, it does not have to be in the accounting software. Because at one time they were using Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, so maybe you should explore with them other ways to do the serial number tracking. You probably will need to become more acquainted with what they need to do with it. It says it's for warranty coverage and insurance purposes. Yeah, so the serial number will need to be identified to a customer. Maybe you have customer ID numbers. Maybe you want it to have the customer name. It'll need to track the purchase date, how long the warranty coverage is for. Have they made a warranty claim previously on this product? It probably needs to link to other products that the same customer has purchased from your company, so you can see their overall experience with your company. It could be that going to a software product that is specialized for serial number tracking and customer tracking, what is it, CRM? Customer Resource Management, I think. Customer Relations Management, I think it's CRM, is what you want. It may be that it can provide some extra functionality regarding serial numbers they don't currently have, and maybe solve a pain point that they really haven't realized that they have. Are they using scanners? Are they using barcodes? Are they using QR codes on their products? Could you really massively step up their experience with serial numbers and their warranty coverage by taking them into a product that is more capable for serial number tracking and at the same time costs less money than the Sage 50 Quantum? Is that food for thought, Greg? Is there any ideas there that you feel like you might want to chew on and discuss with your customer? Not that I'm looking for any validation for what I do here, but yeah, I kind of am. It says, yeah, I have to feel them out cost-wise. I would think, but you probably maybe you understand a lot more about what they do, how they actually enter their serial numbers and how they actually track them. But I would think that it might be time to have a conversation with them where you can become more informed about not only what they track, but how they go about doing it. How much personnel time does it take to register the serial numbers of the products? Could there be a change to their processes that will simplify and streamline things and maybe even save personnel costs? If you can find a way to save personnel costs, that's way bigger potential in saving them money than just coming up a way to deal with the Windows 11 Sage 50 quantum dilemma. Okay, I did cover everything in comments. We got 13 minutes and 40 seconds to go. But who's counting? All right, there's no point in me randomly trying to spot something in chat that I've missed that I want to comment on. Does anybody in chat remember Tech Tales? Give me a 1 in chat if you remember Tech Tales. Hello, Stormy. I always have to struggle. Is it windy or is it stormy? No, that's windy because there's no storm clouds. Got it wrong. Jeff remembers Tech Tales. Tech Tales. John Williams tries exclamation mark T. Oh yeah, that's Princess. Of course it is. Sage 50 is not using qubits? I don't know what that means. So here's something I can do when I don't know what something means. What did my chat participant mean by this? Start with a quote symbol, Control V, quote symbol. Seems like there might be a misunderstanding or typo, as qubits typically refers to quantum bits used in quantum computing, which isn't related to Sage 50. No, it was a joke. Qubits. All right, it's in quantum computing, and I didn't know it. I think he was joking. All right, let's do it. I think he was joking. Period. Explain to me how that might have been a joke. Poking fun at the differences between traditional software. Yada, 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 yada. I'm not going to read through all that. Hey, don't worry, our trusty old calculator isn't suddenly using rocket science. Gotta love a bit of tech humor. So, Copilot enjoyed your joke, Sinvicious. Qubits are quantum bits. Oh, here it's spelled differently. No. Copilot used Sinvicious spelling. So I asked if anyone remembers Tech Tales, only one. That was a while ago. I'm thinking about re-engaging that a little differently. If I come over to my content, and then they were not live shows, they were videos. So if I go filter by Tech Tales, Tech Tales 119 was the last one that I produced. Although there were some, I did use that name, I think a couple times in live shows. Did I? Yeah, but they were actually older. I don't, yeah,
Read
those are
chat,
public.
please.
I'll get to that in just a moment. John Williams, Tech Tales was invented by DougBetts with a question mark. I never claimed to invent it. I just use that as a show title. So the last one was March 30th, 2022, 18 minutes, 16 minutes, 24 minutes, 11 minutes. Let's see, that one was 6:17, 25 minutes. Typically what I would do is I would take actual time slips from my billing records and read the time slips and explain what that task was. And what I'm thinking of doing is doing those in keeping them down to about 5 minutes, 3 minutes to 5 minutes for just one time slip each. And I'm thinking that I could easily do one of those after the regular Monday through Friday show and publish that. That would not be a live stream, but I might perform that or record that as an unlisted live stream and then make it public, because that's just a little bit easier to do than to record it and then have to upload it. So simplifying it, streamlining it would be to do it as a live, unlisted live stream, because I don't want to interact with chat room on that short video. But anyway, just to give you a little heads up, contemplating it. If I do it, you're just going to see it show up one day in your notifications. For the cool kids who use notifications.
Read chat, please.
The people who don't know use notifications, not so much. Jim, back, but we'll watch this later. Did we get there at least? Well, yeah. Towards the end of yesterday, I said I was going to give a summary at the end of the show, and I forgot. I was thinking I should have a speaker bot that speaks only in my ear at about the 25-minute mark on the Monday through Friday shows that reminds me to give a summary. At the beginning of today's show, I did not promise a summary at the end. Most of the show dealt with, let's see. Yeah, let's give a summary. And then Jim, you can decide whether you want to go back, watch or not. Most of the show did cover the title subject, but there were some surprises during the show. The title subject is and will stay.
Read chat, please.
How to move Sage 50 license, program, and data from an old computer to a new computer. We did cover that subject. The thing that was a surprise, one of the things that was a surprise is this subject came up because Greg M. has a client who has Sage 50 Quantum, and they're needing to go to Windows 11 computer. They thought they were going to have to pay $4,000 to do that. Well, I started out with the show showing the process of transitioning Sage 50 accounts, which is a different software product, still currently supported by Sage. The Sage 50 Quantum appears sort of to no longer be supported. However, we did find that you can buy a new subscription to Sage 50 Quantum for this year, for 2024. I think it said 2024, it might have been 2025, but it's in a subscription model now. It's not a purchase. But we did not find that on their website. So that was all kind of weird. We did find that Sage 50 Quantum is a sub-product category of Sage 50 accounts. And we found that the Sage 50 Quantum that you can purchase for $4,000 off of Amazon today is an obsolete product. and it is not qualified for Windows 11. When it shows the operating systems, it includes like Windows 7, Windows 10, XP, I think a couple other things, but not Windows 11. So that $4,000 purchase is not going to help Greg M's client at all. The thing that I'm most optimistic about is we discussed some other methods for Greg's client to track serial numbers in their business. They have to track serial numbers for warranty purposes. They sell products and they warranty them for a period of time. Currently, they are tracking those serial numbers and warranty coverages in Sage 50 Quantum. So we discussed some possibilities about using a different program for doing that, and he's given us an indication that might be feasible because they used to track the serial numbers in Excel rather than in the accounting program at all. So I think that's a pretty fair summary of what this video covered. And that's something I'll be trying to do, is give a summary at the end for those people who don't want to watch all the drama that occurs during a live show, the interaction with the chat room and the squirrel ventures and so on. So we're winding down here. That last read chat, please. I saw in OBS that it was Jim giving us a humor. He said, I hear things in my ear all the time. I just try to ignore them. And I've got some other things currently that play in my ear that you're not aware of, to try to remind me to do things. Drama? We don't need no stinking drama.
Read chat, please.
Jim, I've got my own Windows 11 transition issue I have to work out. I will leave a comment here after the stream because it's going to be a bit long. Awesome. Awesome. I am finding more and more that I very, very much like having questions posed as comments on videos. I like that over emails, and I like that over the chat room because they stick. They stay there as comments on that video. So anybody watching the video that you make the comment on, even if your comment isn't related to the subject in that video, that's okay. Because people will see that I respond to the comments, the questions that come up, even if it's on a different topic, by putting in a video link to where I've given my response and the chat room's response to the topic. And sometimes also other people's comments that are not interacting with the chat room during the live stream, such as we saw from Kerry Holzman today, where he was putting in his 2 cents worth, well, 55 cents worth, let's be real, more than 2, regarding a previously discussed issue. And that was Wendy, you just saw make a brief appearance. So yeah, that's great. Posing a question as a comment on a video is ideal, because if you put it in the chat room, I might not catch it. And also it's a little harder, it takes a little more background work for me to queue that up for a future episode. I got to go copy it and paste it into an email to myself and then flag that email for discussion on a particular show. So there you go. Here's the email address if you want to send an email. Now, the thing that the emails are really good for is if you got multiple paragraphs. And email is a great way to do that, because then I'll title the show for something that's multiple paragraphs. And that would be preferable rather than a comment. If it's 1, 2, or 3 reasonable paragraphs on a comment, then they work in a comment on a video. So go whatever way you choose. Is her name Windy or Stormy? Brian says. Well, when she has the storm clouds over her head, I call her Stormy. When she doesn't have the storm clouds, I call her Windy. And that came from original suggestions when we were trying to name her. And it's an exclamation mark S to call her up, like did right there. But it's random as to whether she's going to have the storm clouds or not. StreamerBot picks. There is 1 o'clock and 5 seconds. Goodbye. See you later. Later, Gator.
That's all, folks.